Greenhouse gas emissions, global climate change. We're all facing the same challenges and need to work together to find solutions. Reducing carbon emissions is one of these. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, is a natural gas. It exists all around us and is essential for life and the photosynthesis. However, after the Industrial Revolution and the burning of fossil fuels, the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere has increased rapidly. It is now labeled a greenhouse gas and a pollutant. Gas, coal, and oil. Every time we drive our cars or heat our homes or turn on our lights, most of us are using energy that comes from fossil fuels. Growth in industrialization and population has increased the global demand for energy. Meeting that demand is increasing the emissions being released into the atmosphere. The greenhouse effect. CO2 is often referred to as a greenhouse gas. This is because CO2 in the atmosphere lets sunlight in but traps the heat from getting back into space, just like a greenhouse. This effect is heating up our planet and is changing our climate. More extreme weather, melting of the polar ice caps, rising sea levels, and drought are some examples. It is predicted to become worse if we don't cut back on emissions. Wind, solar, and other renewable sources will play an important role in our energy future, but they cannot currently replace oil and gas. So, we must develop our fossil fuels in a cleaner, more environmentally responsible way. That's what carbon recapture and storage will allow us to do. Plants absorb CO2 and sunlight and emit oxygen. Planting vegetation on a large scale is a natural way of capturing carbon and cleaning the air of pollutants. Another technique is carbon capture and storage, or CCS. In this method, carbon is stored safely and permanently underground. By capturing and injecting CO2 emissions from power plants and heavy industry in the ground, we're in effect returning the carbon from where it came from. By imitating trapping methods used by nature to store CO2, gas, and oil for millions of years, we can store CO2 safely and permanently underground. This can be done using existing technology to transport and inject the CO2 back into ground, technology which has been used for decades by the oil industry. Storage starts by pumping CO2 into underground reservoirs, either into saltwater aquifers or old oil fields. The reservoirs are then sealed and closely monitored for leaks. According to the Global CCS Institute, there are also potential uses for the captured carbon, such as food processing and preservation, pharmaceutical processes, steel manufacture, and much more. We propose using existing technology in new ways to capture and possibly reuse CO2, hoping that it can help give us a greener future.